Hi, I'm Lou, another episode of My Car Story. We're here at the Klairmont Collection, and I'm here with Andrew Vogel,
Lou, great to see you.
Vice President of Marketing and Sales. So Andrew, before we go too far, what is the Klairmont Collection?
All right, so we're a private automobile museum in the city of Chicago. We're over 100,000 square feet and over 300 automobiles. Of some significance, too. I mean, these are important cars that span about 100 years.
So what car are we going to see right off the bat?
All right, so this one today is really one of my favorites. It's a 1929 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1. I could go on, but you don't want to hear me. You want to see the car. So
Let's grab it. Let's take a look at the car. I'll take the camera off the stand here, and let's take a look at this beauty. Wow, that is a big ride.
So what we have here in this 29 Phantom 1, this was the first year for the replacement of what they called the new Phantom, which was, I don't want to get too detailed on, you can always Google this and look it up, but the new Phantom, it was called, until this year, and they changed the name of the Phantom 1. It was originally designed to replace the Silver Ghost, which had run its course, and so they wanted a new, more modern chassis and drivetrain. Many advancements had happened through the mid-20s, and so they changed things up in 1929 with this vehicle. Now, this particular vehicle, you'll note when we get around, is a left-hand drive.
Okay.
Originally designed for the U.S. market, but more importantly, built in the U.S.
Okay.
There was a time during the 20s that Rolls-Royce built cars not only in England, but in Springfield, Massachusetts. And this is one of those cars. So they only built 1,250 Phantom 1s in America, but only 14 like this one.
Only 14 like this one.
Yep.
Which means you're not going to see this one. So
this one, so here we've got the chassis and the drivetrain comes from Rolls-Royce in Springfield, Massachusetts, but the body, the body was done by Brewster and Company in New York. So you'll see the placard down below on the sill plate here, at the sill.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So it's important to remember these cars were always bespoke. In other words, the owner bought the chassis and drivetrain from Rolls-Royce and then had the body constructed to their own specification. It's almost like you'd hire an architect and a designer and say you'd want the compartment, passenger compartment to be of a certain size and dimension, and then the finished goods on the interior were done to the customer's preference.
There's nothing here. Notice that.
Right, the reason there's no top to this door frame is because this is a Phaeton front roof line. You see that whole piece comes off like a target top.
Wow. Wow. I'm actually getting in the opposite side of the car because
it would be the proper side for any Rolls-Royce except for the ones built in America.
Look at this.
You see the walnut here, and beautiful inlay.
Look at this.
It's a walnut dash with burl.
This isn't your veneer Chevrolet. I mean, this is your unbelievable
and you can see the bright work here. This is brass that's inlaid that separates the burl from the regular walnut, and they did that throughout the car. You'll see it. And it might look like it's painted on, but it's not. It's actually brass that's inlaid. It's a very delicate process to do that.
Look at this. This. Wow. And the pedals and the stick shift here, the handbrake.
And remember this time frame that everything that looks like chrome is really nickel, polished nickel.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And if we look at the roof, you can see up here, here's where the back, this looks like this comes down. I see a hinge here, so this comes down, and you have this speaking to your driver, which actually, you can see back here, is right back there. They talk into that. You can see the horn that comes down, it comes out and around, because this is the window that comes up. So let's take a look in the back. Andrew, if you'd be kind enough to get the doors for me, sir. All this pinstriping is all done by hand. look at the back seat where the, now you've got your top of the door. And look at this. This is cloth, but it feels just fantastic.
It was mohair in the day, and that's that was very much what was used. This has been restored, but it was quite a long time ago when it was done.
Wow.
But this is exactly what would have been used in the day.
And look at the back window and the light. You want to close that off if you felt like, and the handles as you get into it. And look at this back seat here from this perspective.
Now you have the bar area here, and the you see the clock here, which is really a pocket watch.
Let me put that. Let me get a close up of that. Wow, that's cool. And the little cabinet spaces. And
the woodwork in this car is all original.
this is a jump seat.
Right.
With that.
So you see what happens there. You
The
pull out,
seat pulls out.
and then the back tilts up, and the passenger would have to sit sideways with
Yeah.
their back against the door.
This is interesting. There's another little cubby. You'll like this. Watch this. Here's where. Look at this. Does this blow it out? Is that what this rubber thing's for?
I think it might be a signal to pay attention there.
Or stethoscope or something like that? Hello, Andrew. Please take me to the theater. Okay.
That's the
All right.
one.
Okay. All right. Let me hop out. And let's take a look at this car from the back. Massive wraparound vinyl top. This must be the reason why vinyl tops became vinyl tops. I mean,
It started out that way.
yeah. Well, if Rolls-Royce can do it, of course we can do it. And you see you've got the fuel filler on this side, a wonderful trunk, all leather.
Well, the trunk is really a trunk. When the boot is a trunk in the
Yeah,
American way.
right. And then look at this jewelry, for no better term, here. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at both sides of the engine compartment.
Sure.
You got your mirror sticking out the side. A wonderful light here. And even
So
on
it's
your light.
all Rolls-Royces, you know, the flying lady has to be turned sideways to get the hood open. So
Okay.
just turned her sideways. Now we can open the hood.
We've got a little bit of maintenance going on this one. You can see some spark plugs are missing there. But you get the picture of what's going on here. And look at this. Look at that.
And you see how formidable the engines were in this car.
Oh,
If you can get a shot of this, Lou, to see how far down the oil pan goes down there. See how
yeah.
deep that goes into the chassis.
Way
and then
down
if you zoom out a little bit, you can get a whole perspective of how tall this engine is. I bet you this engine is 36 inches tall, easily.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
And you can imagine the throw of those great big pistons
Jeez.
must be...
It's like a boat.
You're right.
Steam engine.
Well, an aircraft engine,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
right. Let's shut this side. And we'll take a look at the other side. Even the Rolls-Royce emblems and the lights on the side there. And look at this side. We've got the... Tell me about that intake exhaust situation there.
Yeah, so this was really a standard procedure kind of operation. You see the way this works, where you've got the intake manifold here, coming off the carburetor, and then intertwined with the intake manifold is the exhaust manifold. So everything happened on the same side.
Wow.
Now that was just the way it was done in the day. This was a nicely engineered example of that idea, but it wasn't too much longer that they changed that configuration because of heat and vapor locking issues, and just the whole internal design of the engine changed so that it would allow for the intake on one side of the engine, the exhaust on the other side.
Made in the USA, little stamp there.
And remember, just 14 of these particular models came out of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Wow. You can see down here, there's some writing on that. If I catch it just right. Sphere on one side. What's this side say? Lube. Amazing. Just amazing. All right, let's shut the hood. We'll have Andrew stand next to her.
There we go.
And Andrew's about 6 feet tall, so that's a pretty large size car. Andrew, always a pleasure. Thanks for being on My Car Story. Thanks for sharing us another great Rolls-Royce in the collection.
You bet. Great to see you, as always.